Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to have you all here today. Please be sure and pop in. We love questions and our guests loves them as well. So please be sure, join the chat and you can throw some questions or comments at us. So today the topic is a very controversial one and it's called, is the earth flat or is there a global conspiracy to hide the truth? And tonight, we're not here to debate or argue about whether or not the earth is a sphere or flat, but we're here to ask questions, powerful questions. What if everything we've been taught is wrong? For centuries, we've been told one story about our world, but what if the truth has been hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to see it with our own eyes? Tonight, we're going to hear a perspective that challenges the very foundation of our reality. And we're going to explore what happens when you decide to question everything. So open your minds, listen closely, and at the end of the conversation, you can make a decision for yourself. And with that, I'm very excited to welcome David Weiss, or he's also known as Flat Earth Dave. Oh, let me fix that. Hey, Dave, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. And for those of you that already know, already know the earth is flat, you probably know who I am. You probably are excited to hear about this. And for those of you that think flat earth is the dumbest thing ever, we all used to be you. Every single flat earther used to be you, including me. I refuse to look at it. I coined the term banned for life from our social media for even suggesting that I look at flat earth. And it's not until you try to debunk flat earth that you become a flat earther. And once you see it, all things like, what difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday will disappear because we all said it. I said it. You'll say, well, what about sunsets? What about eclipses? What about boats over the horizon? What about seasons? And you'll find out that all of these things actually disprove the globe, and some of them actually prove flat earth. So belief, last thing I'll say, I'll throw it back to you. Belief is the enemy of knowing, as Crow 777 Radio says, because belief is easy, right? I'm in Connecticut. Now you have a belief. You believe I'm in Connecticut. It takes no other effort to believe that you're done. You can go smoke a joint. You can do whatever you want, right? You can believe it. But if you wanted to know it, you'd have to do a little research, spend a little time, a little effort, a little brain power to confirm it. So you can believe you live on a globe, but I will demonstrate today, if you participate, that you don't even know your own model. Because if you did, you'd be a flat earther.
Well said. Well said. Let's just go for a few minutes about how, what changed your mind? What, I know you set out to disprove it originally, right?
Yeah.
So just kind of go over that a little bit. What got you into this? You're very well known. You have millions of followers. So there's something happening with the content you're sharing that's very believable. So let's just get started with how you got started on all this.
It's highly censored. And if you search flat earth, you'll get fed propaganda. You'll get fed professional, we call them the anti-flat earthers, or it's just literally an evil cabal of people trying to hide your divinity. This is about, who you are, where you are, what this place is, the true power that we have. They want you to believe that you live on a spinning wet rock in a scientifically impossible space vacuum, that you evolved from pond scum and monkeys, and that they're hiding creation. People say, oh, it's a religious thing. Absolutely not. It's not a religious thing. However, when you understand that the earth is intelligently designed, that we are enclosed, that can't come from a big bang. It has to come from a creator. That's where I draw the line. There's a creator. Now you figure out what your relationship with that creator is. And I'm not even making any claims about that. All I'm saying is We live on a level, topographical, non-rotating, non-spinning, non-moving, flat, level plane. It's that all of the lights in the sky do exactly as we see. They travel around us, over us. They move over us. We watch the sun move across the sky. We watch the moon move across the sky. We watch the stars move across the sky. But we say, oh, no, they're not moving. We're spinning. When you watch the sunset, you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, or the sun's just going away like it appears to be. And what got me was, why do boats disappear from the bottom up over the horizon? And that's the one that got me. So I live near the water, and I went out and I bought at the time in 2014, 2015, Nikon had just come out with their super zoom camera. And I said, I've seen boats disappear from the bottom up. And we were all taught that as little children. And you know what? As a little child, you can understand that something going over a ball will disappear from the bottom up, right? A 3-year-old can understand that. But if you try to describe perspective, what actual perspective is and how it works, some adults can't even understand it unless you really use your God-given common sense and understand what's going on. So it's perspective that makes things disappear. So I went out and bought that camera. I lucked out. I had a perfectly clear day, and there was a buoy just over 10 miles away. So I sat down on the beach. I'm maybe 2 feet off the water. It's perfectly calm. It's perfectly clear, which is really important for when you're doing long distance observations, because waves and humidity will blur, will block what you're seeing. And I looked out, and I could not see the buoy. Now, this isn't the observation, but this is a sailboat. There's a sailboat out here. Do you see it? You don't see it. It's not over the curve. But as we zoom in, what we're doing is we're increasing our angular size. And as we increase the angular size, all of a sudden you realize, oh, look, there is a sailboat there. Now, it's not over the curve. I couldn't bring it back in. Now, my finger can't hide that sailboat. If my finger was a wave, though, in the foreground, it could hide the sailboat. And look, it's disappearing from the bottom up due to these little waves. The sailboat's getting smaller into the distance, and it's just going into the horizon. So that's the first thing that got me. I said, well, the curvature calculator must be wrong, because that buoy that I'm looking for, if I round down to 10 miles, should be 66 feet below the curve. Counting for the height of the camera, 62 feet, whatever. 62 feet, that's a 6-story building. I could see the buoy, and I could see the surface of the water beyond the buoy. And I just assumed that the Earth curve calculator was wrong, but then I confirmed that, no, it's not. So then I started thinking about sunsets. Well, how does the sun drop down? It clearly drops down over the horizon, right? It clearly drops down over the horizon. But here is an example of a sunset. And here's a coin sliding across the table. Now, why does the coin disappear from the bottom up? Do you know why? It's pretty easy. Because the camera is slightly lower than the table. It makes sense. If the camera was up higher, we'd probably see the coin all the way across the table. Correct? Makes sense, right? Just like this. If I get my sun here, and if this is the horizon, and I move the sun away, the horizon's slightly higher than the camera, and it disappears from the bottom up. But when we look out over the water's not higher than our feet. Our head's higher than our feet. The water should be going lower and lower and lower, but the sun will disappear. Now, the horizon always appears to be at eye level. It always appears to be at eye level. But, and flat earthers say, the horizon always rises to eye level. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. If there was no atmosphere, the water was perfectly calm, there was no obfuscation, the horizon would be 6 feet below my eyes for me, always. Because on a flat earth, on a globe earth, it would just drop lower and lower the farther out you go. At 3 miles, it would be 12 feet below my eyes because I'm 6 feet above the water. The water's 6 feet drop in 3 miles. At 10 miles, it would be 66 feet plus my 6 feet tall, 72 feet below my eye level. But we look out and we see things that all appear to be at eye level. So let me show you this. This is, what do I want to show you? I want to show you this one. So here we are in New York City. We're looking straight up. Now, this is, I got the sun. Let's say it's noon. You got this 50-story building. Now, the sun is going to move. We'll make it go to like 1 o'clock. So at 1 o'clock, here's the question. We're looking straight up now. Is the sun below the horizon or is it just beyond the building?
It looks like it's beyond the building.
Of course, there's two ways we could see it. We could go up in the air and look over the building, or we can go backwards and maybe get a better angle over that building, right? So if we go, if we look at a perspective grid, we're all shown this in school, and we put a guy here, his eye line is right here, and I'll throw this mountain in here. I got the sun up there. Let's say this mountain's 3,000 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll watch the sun go away. Now, is the sun below the horizon or is it just beyond the mountain?
Again, to me, it looks like it's beyond the mountain.
Of course, it's beyond the mountain. I can float up in the air and look at it, or I can go backwards. Let's say I go backwards like 25 miles. At 25 miles away, there's the top of the mountain, 3,000 feet above my eye level, but it looks like it's at my eye level.
Right.
Now, here's the sun going away again. Is it going below the horizon or is it going beyond the mountain?
It looks like it's going beyond the mountain.
Yeah, but it also, if you didn't understand that the horizon is thousands of feet above your eye level, the sun is going beyond it. You would think it's going below the curve because of programming. Now, it gets worse. These clouds, let's say these clouds are 5,000 feet above the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So these clouds are 5,000 feet, so 8,000 feet here, but 5,000 feet above the mountain. So here, these clouds are 5,000 feet above the 3,000-foot mountain. So that's 8,000 feet. This line that looks like it's at his eye level is 8,000 feet above his eye level. And as the sun goes away, it just goes beyond this horizontal eye zone that's thousands of feet above his eye level. And if there's no clouds and no mountain, it doesn't matter because the entire atmosphere compresses into that line and becomes opaque over a relatively short distance, 100 miles max. You can't see because the horizon, it becomes opaque over distance. Actually, you can actually see a little farther than that, but you won't see like a mountain at 100 miles away easily unless it's super, super, super clear. So
how does that translate into the Earth being flat, though? Like if the sun is, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, ask the question because I'm not sure where you're going.
In the examples you just showed us, it looks like the Earth is curved. I mean, to me, maybe it's programming. It is. I mean, what I've been taught. It looks like the sun is setting and it's beyond the curvature.
Well, that's what it looks like, but it's going beyond the horizon. The horizon is not below your feet. The horizon at that distance is thousands of feet. It's all of the atmosphere compressed together due to perspective, and it looks like it's at your eye level due to the perspective. The sun is above that. Boats and mountains are below that. Boats will go into the horizon. The sun will go beyond the horizon. Here this is my crappy graphics here. We got a building. We're next to the city, across the river, let's just say. And if we started going farther away, we'd actually see that, look, the sun is still there, but the city is now, that's like, let's call that 30 miles away. 30 miles away, if I showed you that first, you would just think that that's a bumpy horizon, right? And as the sun goes farther away, it's just going away. It's not going below. If I got up higher, I'd be able to see it again. Let me show you.
So if the Earth is flat, where is it? Where is the sun going?
It goes around and it takes its light with it. It goes out. The light does not travel forever, and light does not travel through opaqueness. The atmosphere becomes opaque over distance, and it obfuscates the light. The light attenuates into the atmosphere. If you're in a swimming pool, perfectly clear swimming pool, you can see the bottom, no problem. No, let's say it's a 50-yard swimming pool. Go to one end, go under the water with your goggles. You can't see the other side because the light that's bouncing off that wall attenuates into the water. Well, the air is the same thing. It just goes over a longer distance. So Let me show you what I mean by that.
But wouldn't it go from right to left on a flat plane?
It does. It does go from right to left, and it does more so
like-
in our northern summer than in the winter.
Uh-huh.
But I'll show you, and also the speed of where are you located? Where are you about?
Pennsylvania.
Where?
Pennsylvania.
Right. You notice now when the sun sets, it gets dark really fast, but in June and July, it doesn't. It lingers for hours, right? For like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like the sun will set here in June or July, and it's light for 2 more hours. But now and through December, it's going to get worse and worse. The sun will set and it's dark in 20 minutes. Do you notice that? I will explain that. I'll explain that. I'll explain that in a minute. So, so let's look at. I just want to show you. Where's my sun fade out? There it is. Sun fade out. So here is. I got a drone up. Now this one's a little wobbly, but the sun was going down, 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 down because it's going away, and then it stopped going down. If we're on a ball, it should always continue to go down. But when it gets near the horizon, it stops, and then it just goes farther away. And as it goes away, it takes its light with it, and it just goes beyond. I slowed it down here. It's just going away. It's still there, but you can't see it. It's just going away. This is all atmosphere. This is thousands of feet above my eye level. My friends are at the beach over here. They saw the sunset 10 minutes ago from the bottom up. All right, here it is again. It was going down, 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 and then it stopped, and it just sat there, and it's getting smaller and smaller.
Where did it go?
It's going away. It goes around the earth. The sun, you can't see the sun 1,000 miles away. You can see it a couple hundred miles away max. And it goes away. Now, the sun that we see is not, it's just a projection of the actual sun. You see what I call it, we see it in our own personal atmospheric dome. This is the first sun one I did. It went down, 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 and then it stopped. Proves that we're not spinning. And then it's still there. You just can't see it. Somebody over there, let's say it's 400, 500 miles away. It's noon for them or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not noon. The sun is higher in the sky. It would actually be farther than that. It would be like a couple thousand miles away. But again, we all see the sun in a different place. It's like, I'll show you what I mean by that. Optics. So we don't see the sun in the same place. Someone in Hawaii doesn't see at the same time, doesn't see the sun in the same place as somebody in Connecticut. Right. We see the sun. It's a different time, of course, but we see the sun in a different place. Hold on. So I look at the sky as I think that the sun, this is my opinion, the sun is above or inside of the actual firmament. We're under the firmament. So we see the projection of the sun. Here I have a sheet cutting my room in half here. I have a light 10 feet on the other side, and it looks like the sun. Matter of fact, it looks really like the sun. This is actually a square light, but it looks round, looks like the sun. Now, my wife's over here, and I ask her, where do you see the sun? So if I drew a little X with a Sharpie on that cloth, she sees the sun over there while I see it there at the same time. This is the real sun is behind the sheet. The apparent sun is the sun that we see in the sky. So this is Hawaii and this would be Connecticut or whatever, vice versa. So that's how we see the sun. It's an apparent sun. And you know why the sun looks like it moves so slowly across the sky, right? The sun is supposedly moving 1,000 miles an hour about. Right, because it's got to go all 24th and in September and March, it's going 1,000 miles an hour over the equator, 24,000 miles around, just over 1,000. It doesn't look like it's going 1,000 miles an hour. It looks like it's going really slow, right? You watch the sun move across the sky; it's moving super slow. I think that the sun that we see rise in the east is maybe 200 miles away, not even. Maybe.
Yeah, I've heard that before, that it's a lot closer than we've
and then
been told.
And then in the evening, that would be 200 miles to the west. So it has all day to go 400 miles across the
Right.
sky, all day. So if you get one of these little half domes, right? These little half domes, and you put a couple of them down and move a light above it, you'll see that each one will have
I've seen
the
that.
light in a different position.
Right.
It's
I've
pretty
seen
cool.
that in video. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Let me ask you this, because this to me is intolerant behavior. There are people saying, "How could you have Dave on your show? It's preposterous. It's blasphemy." You know, they come at you with so much hate rather than just sit back, listen, open up your mind. No one is forcing you to believe this. Just open up your mind and listen.
Well,
But no,
I'm going to
no, they
defend them. I did the same thing. When I first heard it, I literally attacked people. It was brutal. I was horrible because it's so stupid. But then when you try to look at it, you can't. There's no denying it. Well, you could deny it, but once you, if you're honest, there's no way you can't see it. I'm on TikTok lots of mornings on angels_of_light channel. And we let globers come up one at a time. And if they can present one piece of globe evidence, they win 3 Bitcoins. Okay. How could you have me on my channel? I'm offering 3 Bitcoins for one proof, scientific proof that we live on a globe. And no one has been able to do it. How about that?
Not one person.
Not one person. No one ever will. And and if they did, the 3 Bitcoins would be nothing, because they'd be so famous and so rich. It would be amazing, because no one has been able to do it. Every scientific experiment to prove our axial rotation, curvature, or containing a gas without a container has failed and proven the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to talk about what I believe. I'm just open-minded. I want to learn. I want to be able to the people that are questioning this deserve to get answers. And maybe at the end of the day, yeah. So it's, there's so many hateful comments.
Yeah,
I had to kick the guy out of the chat just now, and there's another hateful comment. I mean,
instead of putting a hateful comment, throw on your globe proof. Give me your globe proof, and I will address it. So you keep an eye out. You keep an eye on the chat.
You should be ashamed of yourself, and you've been disproven so many times.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So let's read that comment. No, let's read the comment. Dave the Grifter. So I'm a grifter. Yeah. Be ashamed of yourself. You've been debunked so many times. People have listened to Dave and his BS and have better minds. And the better minds have squashed his BS, and he's waffled on going to TFE. All right, so where's your globe proof? It's all just empty comments, right? And he's talking about TFE, which is a fake preacher out of Denver, had a false binary that said, if we go to Antarctica and the sun does this, the earth is flat. If the sun does that, the earth is a globe. Well, that's a false binary, because the lights in the sky have nothing to do with the shape of the earth. What the lights in the sky tell us is how well we understand the sky. That's it. We've measured the earth. The earth is provably not a sphere, provably level, stationary. And the lights in the sky come with a lot of baggage that actually completely disprove it. So there you go.
I mean, I'm not going to show any more of these, but I didn't hear you trash anybody. Let me ask you this question, Dave.
Sure.
I love a good conspiracy theory. I love picking it apart. I do it all the time. We all do. If the earth was truly flat, it would have to be the biggest conspiracy theory known to mankind. That means that NASA, every government agency, every astronaut, the space station, everything, they're all in on it. How is that possible?
Yeah, well, they're all of these space agencies. They're all in on it. All the world space agencies. They all train in Florida at NASA's facility. So that's weird. We're at war, but they all train with NASA. This is one of the biggest conspiracies. It's right in line with the old world. The technology that used to be here, the civilization that used to be here just a couple hundred years ago, which was way more advanced than we are now. We are.
Are you talking about Tartaria?
I'm talking about Tartaria, the old world, and all the evidence is undeniable.
It is. I believe in Tartaria totally.
The last thing about the guy in the chat, is saying if you look, he's saying that you can learn from McToon. McToon, his real name is Ryan. Ryan, I forget his last name, but he uses a fake name. He is a government agent. His bullshit is unbelievably ridiculous. And they say, I got schooled by Professor Dave. These guys come on these shows all the time. They go, Professor Dave schooled you. I'm like, okay, can you give me one point Professor Dave made that schooled me? And they can never come up with 1 point. Not even one. Right. So no. It's amazing. And again, if you're able to watch Professor Dave or Simon Dan, these total morons and believe them, well, that's on you. Feel free, leave me alone and enjoy your spinning ball cartoon world. It's crazy.
So to get back to my question, so that's the only thing that prevents me really, because I've watched a lot of your content and a lot of it makes sense, I have to admit, but the conspiracy part of it, I cannot fathom in my brain that everybody would be in on it.
Well, who's in on it? There's not that many people in on it. I would say that many of the politicians don't know. A lot of the people that work at NASA, they don't know, but there's not as many people working at NASA as you would think. And then the question you ask is, why would they lie? What's the point? And it's really there's a lot to it. I mean, some of the reasons be they're hiding free energy, provable. They're hiding the creator. They're hiding our spirituality. They're hiding more land. They're hiding more resources. Scientific knowledge, what's in Antarctica, they're hiding that we're special, we're at the center of creation. That's enough right there. They're hiding your true potential. And people are like, well, what difference does it make? The shape of the earth doesn't matter. I agree, shape doesn't matter. It's your position in this place and what it is. It's the fact that your thoughts create your physical reality. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know how to manifest with the moon cycles. They don't want you to understand the energy of this world. They don't want you to understand that we are incredible, powerful creators. They want you to believe that you're an insignificant speck flying in a space vacuum, which is ridiculous.
I mean, we get whistleblowers all the time with UAPs, and they're all coming to surface now more than ever. So there's not one whistleblower that you've come across that has worked for NASA or
no, that's not true at all. There's plenty. There's astronauts that have come out and said the Earth is flat. Buzz Aldrin keeps trying to tell people.
I've seen that.
Yeah. But there's a Russian astronaut that he was having a bad day or something. He was on a podcast, and they're like, some people say the Earth is flat. What can you say? And he said, I forget the exact words, but it translated, he said, I could assure you the Earth is flat, and I could assure you nobody has ever been to space. I mean, isn't that enough?
I've heard that. I've heard that.
There's only been like 50 people, or there's a small number of people that allegedly have been to space, right? Like, where are these people? Where and they're all Freemasons. I mean, Bart Sabrell, who's not a flat earther, has debunked the moon missions. Has debunked NASA.
Yeah.
When you look at NASA, and SpaceX and see that they're faking space, that should make you wonder. Let's take a look at one of Elon. Elon's our hero, right? Elon, richest man in the world. Everyone loves Elon, right? So let's look at one of his. Remember we had astronauts that were stuck on the space station recently. Remember that?
I sure do.
Yeah. So let me make this a little smaller. So
I think I saw that video.
Yeah. So this is them coming down, and look at these cables. These are pretty clear cables, right? And so this thing is free falling at super fast speed. Wait, why aren't these things blowing up? These are nylon. These would just shred in a second, right? Actually, I'm going to jump to here. This is a motorcycle jump, right? And the guy, he parachutes off, and the motorcycle gains a little speed and just shreds the parachute because it was too heavy for the parachute. But then we go back to this. this thing, with 4 astronauts in it falling out of the sky, it doesn't shred the parachutes. And then at one point, I'm just going to jump forward. It stopped coming down. It's just sitting there. It's like it's barely coming down. This is not how it would go. And now watch what happens. This is all AI. This is all AI. Brighten that up for me. So you can see the cables here a little bit. You can see the cables, and then it splashes down. It should sizzle, but it doesn't. And then all of the cords disappear. The cords disappear. Where are the cords? Now we're going to come by. Now, by the way, the boats are way over here in the distance. How did they get this drone here? This is out 800 miles out in the ocean. It's so calm. I've never, how they always land and it's beautifully calm. So here come the boats over here. Where are the cables? What was that glitch? You see that glitch right there? Watch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
and then where are the cables? And then where did the cables come out of? It was showing us that big compartment at the top, but there's no compartment. Where did the parachutes come out of? Now, people say, oh, it's coming out of that little hole. That's not what we saw. Let's go back. It's coming out of this. This is a view out of the top. Where's this big compartment?
Yeah.
So going back forward, where is that compartment? Where are the cables? There should be cables strapped down and going across the water. There's no cables.
And the fact that it's not sizzling is crazy. It should be, there should be smoke or something.
There should be something, but there's not. And how big? This looks pretty small. Like there's 4 people in there. I don't know about that. And these boats will come up, and there's no cables. Right now, some people say that they came out of here. That doesn't make any sense. Where are the straps? Where are the straps? Oh, did it eject them? Does it know to eject them and they've all sunk? They'll just make up excuses. I can make up excuses too.
Yeah.
And these boats come in. They don't worry about anything about catching the straps in their propellers or anything. It's all absolute and total nonsense. And then if you look at Elon.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is if we weren't like, if you saw this with no context, you'd be like, this is just a horrible B-rated movie, right? This is the rocket that's supposedly going to go to Mars. Now look how slow it's going. This little flame is lifting this thing up. And where's all that thrust? It should be just obliterating that smoke, all that thrust. Now, how high is it? The camera on the ground is getting a side view, so it's not very high. Ooh, it's very high now from the onboard. And now look at the smoke. Look how slow it's going. And now it's even higher. And then now look, the engines turn off. Now it's falling. How high is it? Look at the speed of the smoke. Watch the next edit. The smoke will go even slower. Ready? Edit. Here it comes. Look at the smoke. This thing is free falling. It's not going up anymore. It's free falling. It should be going hundreds of miles. Whoa, how did it get that high? This is in order. I did not take this out of order. Now this thing is falling. Now the engines are going to turn on. It's magically going to stand upright. 2 of the 3 engines are going to burn out, and it's going to land upright. Ready? The cameraman's going to do a Superman and get underneath it. Ready? It's going to 1, 2, 3 engines go on. It goes upright. Cameraman somehow gets underneath it. 2 of the engines are going to burn out. Ready? 1, 2. And it's going to land upright with a whole bunch of CGI smoke. Ready? Here it comes. Somehow the cameraman, he's brave, CGI smoke, and it lands upright. If you believe that is a real rocket launch, you should tune off the show right now. You should just go away and just go watch Sesame Street.
AI. It really does. The thing is, too, I personally, on a personal note, I don't trust the government at all. Not even 2%. I just don't. So someone asked, did
people
the astronaut die? Now, I've seen so many videos of their doppelgangers working in colleges, and we're talking about the astronauts that supposedly died in the. Is that fake news?
It's total fake news. So no, that's not fake news. It's fake that they died. That was they wheeled in televisions to every classroom. This is 2 different launches. They're showing it in space, and it's the exact same footage. So they're faking footage, different years, and it's the exact same thing. And then during one of the satellite launches from the shuttle, all of a sudden you can see a guy's face over here. This is a model.
I know, that's insane. And what about the air bubbles? Because they film underwater.
Bubbles in space, absolutely.
So, and what about the astronaut's tank that filled up with his mask filled up with water? How the frig does that happen?
So this is an airplane. Think about this. The airplane,
much.
it's pretty aerodynamic. There's no real sharp edges. This is like a 747 or whatever, right? This is the SR-71. It's like a razor blade, and it doesn't have any paint on it because it goes so fast, the paint would burn off of it, right? At it goes like Mach 3. This goes Mach 23. Look at the inset windows. This is the space shuttle.
Yeah.
This would get ripped to shreds. They want you to believe in absolute nonsense, right? So let's look at a couple pictures here. What is the space shuttle? This is a blimp. It's a fireworks. This is a balloon. There's nobody on this. Right? Look at these holes here, right? This has to be perfectly smooth to go a fraction of the speed they claim it goes. These are jet engines. This is like an airplane. When they land, there's actually a video of one of these things taking off on a runway. So it's just an airplane. But look at these windows. You wouldn't have that on a regular airplane that goes 500 miles an hour because the turbulence from these inset windows would rip the plane apart.
Jesus. So all the astronauts that you see them walking out and they're all getting ready to go in a rocket and go into space, they're all lying.
Well, these guys are all lying. These guys are all lying. 5 of the 6 have been identified and found, and they may be dragged into court soon. And 2 or 3 of them say they have identical twins. There's no record of them having identical twins, but they're saying they have identical twins. And what's interesting, at the funeral, none of their siblings, the twins, showed up at the funeral. Weird.
This is what I mean. You know, it's proof like this that really makes me not believe anything the government tells me. I mean, those are the exact same people that supposedly died in the. It's crazy.
This is 4 million pounds blowing around in the wind like a balloon. It's like a bouncy house. It's blowing around in the wind. 4 million pounds doesn't move like that. It's blowing around in the wind. It doesn't do that. 4 million pounds. 4 million pounds to lift it off the ground, the thrust would pulverize, would vaporize the cement below it. Now, this is a metal, multi-ton empty tank that's falling back to Earth. Now, supposedly it's going to deatomize. It goes so fast it burns up and it never crashes. They don't recover it. Does that look like it's falling, or does it look like it's floating?
It looks like it's floating.
It looks like it's floating. In a second, you're going to see a tissue. See it? You see the tissue go by?
Oh, my goodness.
Right? Watch it again. There's a tissue. It's going to come by here just to show you how slow this thing is going. Now, this is falling. Ready? It's coming in like 3 seconds. 2, 1, and where is it? There. Was that it?
I saw something. Yeah. I saw some white object.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Who's filming this?
I always ask that question.
This is supposedly being filmed.
Who's filming these things?
Yeah. So this is being filmed by the guys on the shuttle. Now, this thing is free falling. Let me show you again. This thing is free. What's that shadow? That's weird. Oh, no. Maybe that's just on the lens. So this is the guys on the shuttle. They're going up at 25,000 miles an hour in the opposite direction. That thing's falling, but somehow they're keeping it in frame. They're keeping it in frame. Let me just jump forward here. Hold on. So when I say to somebody, you can't see the Earth curve, can you? Do you think you can see the Earth curve here?
I would imagine so.
Well, it looks like it, right? It does look like it. But NASA gets $80 million a day. I get 0. This is a front yard with a solar panel.
I saw that. Isn't that crazy?
All right. So I'm saying, do you think you can be deceived? So here it is. Here it's going down. And then we caught something that went by in the window, that went by in the video. Here's Felix Baumgartner jumping on the Red Bull jump. Watch how fast he disappears, right? That's a stationary camera. That camera isn't going 25,000 miles in the opposite direction. Boom, he's gone, right? This thing is free falling. It's pretty close to the clouds already. Wait a minute. Is it above the clouds or is it below the clouds? I really can't tell. You don't know which way you're looking, down or up, but we're assuming we're looking down. Now watch. We think it's a blimp recovery vehicle. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Did you see it?
Yeah, I sure did.
So we zoomed in on it. It looks like a quadcopter cloaked somehow. Turn it sideways, increase the contrast.
Oh, yeah. It looks like some type of copter.
Yeah, contrast boosted. NASA has no comment. Right? So this is showing you that it's all fake. So the rest of it's fake too. All of it's fake. All of it's fake. Right? Remember that I said the space shuttle fully fueled is 4 million pounds, right? So watch this thing when it takes off. Oh, this is what they want you to believe. Oh yeah, so watch. You're going to watch it go up and then down. Once it starts going up, it's not going to come down again. You don't lift 4 million pounds and then lower it once they get the momentum going. The other thing is, if you ever seen a hurricane will rip trees out of the ground, 250-mile-an-hour winds, crazy. Right? A tornado, 350 miles an hour winds will tie metal posts in knots, right? See this fence right here? It doesn't budge. There's 20,000 miles an hour superheated thrust, and the fence doesn't even move. Watch, it's going to go up. Oh, it already bounced, right? So this thing's going up. And really cool. So they want you to believe that those people are right nearby. They're over 10 miles away, right? Nobody is close to this thing. Why isn't that thrust destroying all of those clouds? It should just obliterate them for a half a mile. They should just be obliterated from that amount of thrust. And now if you just Google space shuttle launch, you'll come up with this one. Look, the camera's zooming out.
AI, Dave,
what?
Is this video AI?
No, this is actual what they showed us. This is actually launch, but the launch is of a blimp with a smoke display. It's just blowing out smoke. And so people will see this. Now, when we always see those rockets launch, they always go so slow and they go, well, it's gaining speed. It's gaining speed. Yeah. But the camera's zooming out to make it look like it's going even faster. It's not. It's going so slow. It's curving. It goes out over the ocean and it crashes. But when it was, I think 30 miles downwind. This is 30 miles downstream, they tell you. And all of a sudden, it's going to let go of the solid rocket boosters. Now, they say you can't turn them off. So when they let go, they should really fly away. And they show it. There's an explosion, and it goes, psh, and when you watch it, you hear it at the exact same time you see it. Well, that's a problem. That sound should take over 90 seconds to catch up to the light against your eyes.
That's right.
And when it goes, how are those things going sideways and keeping up with it? How come they're not just flying off like a bottle rocket without a stem? Right? So again, it's all fake. It's all fake. And if you can't see through it, I can't help you.
Yeah, I mean, people, I understand they get wrapped up in their cognitive dissonance. I get that. You said you were that way too. But at least, keep the hate at bay. Ask your questions, have disbelief if you want, but just keep the hate out of the conversation. I don't need to be hearing that. What about the firmament? Are these rockets curving, or because I've seen some video where they're actually hitting the firmament? I don't know if that's AI. I don't.
No, that's not AI. They might be hitting a plasma layer up there. I don't know. It didn't look that far to me when I see that stuff. I think they're just trying to gaslight us. But the fact that you're breathing air right now proves that we are contained. Now, what is the firmament? I don't know. The Bible says it's molten glass. It could be energetic. It could just be water. Right? God separated the waters from the waters and created the firmament. Think about when you're heating a pot of water. The bubbles are starting to form on the bottom. Now imagine yourself a microbe inside that bubble. You're on the pan, it's flat, and you have that dome of water above you, and it's just being held up by air. I don't know. That could be it. I actually think that there is some sort of physical firmament above us. I mean,
I do too.
Yeah, but the fact that we're breathing air shows that we are contained. We are in a contained system. You can't have high pressure next to low pressure or no pressure without a container. Here's an example of that. Let me just show you.
All right, and then I want you to answer about water seeking its own level, because that one is a big one for me. Like, how does water stay on the? What do they say? Well, we'll get to it after you're done.
So here we have some gas pressure and we have a vacuum. There's no air in there, and we have a valve. And when we open it, it'll instantly equalize. Instant equalize. Now, if I made this an infinite size container, it would still equalize, but even more violently, because the pressure difference would just be that pressure would want to equalize to the vacuum. So here's the issue. We're showing this picture from Carl Sagan from the Voyager. This is the Earth. It's a pale blue dot. All of this is an infinite vacuum. So how is the air staying stuck on that ball without a container?
Right. Yeah, I mean, they use gravity for a lot of the reasoning for that, the atmosphere. I don't know. What about water, though? How does water fit into this area?
Water always finds its level at rest.
Right.
Water, can you bring me 5 gallons of water without a container?
Of course not.
Right. So you need a containment. So a pond is a container because the land is higher than the pond, right?
Right.
The land is higher than the pond. So when we had and so that's the container. Antarctica, if you look at all the continents in the world and take their average elevation, Antarctica is number 1, and it's over double what number 2 is. Well, Antarctica is the shoreline of our world pond. So here I have a canal or a lake at rest. It's flat, and when it's cold, it freezes flat. So we have a frozen lake. We have a camera 6 inches above. The whole video documents all of this, that we're not high, we're not low, right? 6 inches. And we have these 4 lights at 5 miles, 8, 7, 6, and 5 miles, right? So that doesn't sound like far, but on the globe, the required curvature is significant. Required curvature. And now the globers like to say, oh, well, it's behind a curve, so refraction. And they add 0.15 refraction or whatever it is. We had, I think I added 50% refraction, which is absolutely insane. Refraction of things hidden behind something physical does not happen at all, ever, right? But I added a ridiculous amount of refraction, and it would still be 30 feet, 22 feet, 15, and 9 feet below the physical curve. When I say below the curve, can you see my mouth?
No.
Why?
Well, your globe is covering it.
It's below the curve, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's below the curve. And zooming in will not bring it back. Well, we see them all here on a straight level line. So there's 2 explanations. One, Earth is flat, the camera's right here, and it sees the lights, 1, 2, 3, 4. The other one is the camera's 6 inches off the ball, which would make its tangent horizon less than 1 mile away, as the ball requires. The globe has a required amount of maximum distance that you can see. Now, a foggy day, different conditions will change, will shorten it. It'll never be longer. Even at the most perfect conditions, it'll never be longer. And you have to believe that this one's refracting up that much. This one's refracting up more. This one's refracting up more. This one's refracting up even more. Now, none of them refract a little lower or a little higher. They all magically stop at the tangent of the camera. One of those is retarded, and the other one is absolutely makes perfect sense.
What do the globers say when you show them evidence like this?
Refraction.
How do they refute
that?
They
say refraction. They say refraction, but refraction actually pushes things down, right? Refraction actually pushes things down. It makes it worse. But the thing is, I'll agree that when you zoom, like I'll take my zoom camera, I'm on a beach and I'm zooming in on something a mile away, and it gets all distorted, and sometimes it gets pushed down, and it does. Sometimes it'll disappear. You do a time lapse over a long distance, and as the heat and temperature changes, the horizon will change. It'll go up and down. The buildings will disappear. The mountains will disappear. It comes and goes, and that's not because the Earth is flexing. It's just because the refraction is doing all weird things. But if you and I were on a flat surface, let's say we're at the Great Salt Flats, and we built a 10-foot brick wall in between us, there is no distance that we could separate ourselves from each other that you would pop up over that wall, because there is no light coming off of you to refract to my eye. It's only line of sight that will refract. Now they'll do stupid things like, they got a ball with some tacks that are over the horizon, and they'll stick a lens. That lens is higher than the camera, so it's literally refracting it around because the lens is above the camera. So they'll do stupid tricks like that and go, look, you can see the tack, behind here. Like the famous picture of across Chicago, across Lake Michigan. The famous picture. Yeah. That. And we took a boat, two of our guys, a clear day, and they kept it in frame the whole way. They went 50 miles across the lake, and the mirage that's supposedly there never disappeared. They'll go like, well, the bottoms are missing. Well, the bottoms are missing because of the atmospheric and the waves and the marine layer. But the top of the tallest building should be 100 feet below the curve. This is the picture, but here's the time lapse. This is an 18-hour time lapse. Now look, this building doesn't move. It's right there. Now, this is like an 18-hour time lapse. The building's still there. It's still there. The weather's changing. The temperature's changing. We're going to go into the night. And it's still there. It's not going anywhere. It's still there, right? That's because we can see it because it's there, because the light's coming off. That's it. That's the whole time lapse.
So if the Earth was a globe,
if the Earth was a globe,
right?
the tallest building, the top of the tallest building would be. Right. Let me get back here. The top of this building would, I forget the number. I think it's 100. I think this building is 1,600 feet tall, and there would be 1,800 feet of curvature.
Wow.
Yeah, but we can see all of this.
Yeah.
So this stuff is merging into the horizon. Yeah. Once you understand how perspective works, they've hijacked perspective and called it Earth curve.
Yeah. Yeah. Heidi said she's curious about what the correlation of the Earth's speed and the flat Earth theory.
Well, the Earth isn't moving, and they've hijacked the motion of the stars. Go outside, take a deep breath, and realize that you're not moving, right? They want you to believe that the Earth is spinning, whirling and twirling in 4 different directions. You're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. You're orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour, which you can't even fathom. You're chasing the sun at almost 500,000 miles per hour. And this entire system's moving sideways at millions of miles per hour.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But nothing ever changes. All of the zodiac stars never change.
Well, that's a very interesting thing. Well, how do they account for that? Shouldn't the stars change at night? Like
they say that it's so far away that there is no parallax. Now, cool story, bro, right? But it's so far away that there's no parallax. And that's you can't argue with it. I mean, you can't argue with it. It's so far away, even though we're traveling 4.5 billion miles every year, year after year after year, never returning to where we were before. Polaris is so far away that we don't notice it moving. Okay. When you actually take the time and look at, like, how could we even see Polaris at the size and distance that it is? You couldn't see it. But you know about the Georgia Guidestones, right?
Absolutely.
So there's a hole in the center one, like the thickness of a straw. You look through it, there's Polaris. Now, they also tell us, besides the Earth moving 186 million miles from one side of the sun every year, summer, winter, it's also moving 4.4 billion miles. But Polaris never moves. It's because it's so far away. But the axis of the Earth is wobbling 1 degree every 72 years. We're on a 26,000 year cycle. That's what they tell us, a precession of the equinox, right? Okay, cool. So if you look and say what is how many what is 1 degree in the sky, and 1 degree is 2 to 3 moon widths. I forget, is it 1 degree, 2 to 3 moon? Yeah, 2 to 3 moon widths. Well, the Georgia Guidestones were built in 1981, up for over 40 years. So there's a half a degree, which would be at least 1 moon width, and 1 moon width would put the Polaris right outside that hole. Well, we went there, and we saw that the stars circle around. Polaris is in the middle. It's not out of the hole. So we made a couple videos about it, going, "Hey, this absolutely proves that the Earth isn't wobbling." Right? Because there are other stupid excuse. You can't argue with stupid. But there's no argument against this one. And a couple weeks later, a terrorist blew up the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah,
3 hours later, bulldozers were there, took the whole thing away, stole the time capsule, no investigation.
That blew me away. That they just came in, wiped away all the. They even had a video of the car that supposedly was responsible.
They had a video of the guy that shot Charlie Kirk also. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This, it's things like this that make me. I mean, you came out with this video when 3 weeks before they blew it up.
It was started going viral. I don't know. It's actually a little longer than that. But then, when it really started getting noticed, boom, the Georgia Guidestones got blown up.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's amazing.
What about satellites? Because, I don't know. Are they fake news? I mean, seriously, are they just balloons that, because I've seen both sides of, I've seen satellites in the sky.
You have?
Up at a big telescope. I went to my local college.
Yeah, you see a little tiny light moving in the sky. They tell you it's a satellite.
Yeah.
You can see them with your naked eye, too. You know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So we see these little things. So when you look up at a 747, how big is it at cruising altitude? Like 5 to 7 miles high. It's tiny, right? It's a little tiny thing. Can you make out the engine on a 747?
Jeez, no.
No, but if I doubled the height of the 747, which is gigantic, could you see the 747? Put it up at 10 to 14 miles high?
Of course not.
You wouldn't be able to see it. They're telling you that these satellites that are way smaller than the engine,
what the hell are we saying?
That they're 350 miles up, and that's when they're directly above you. When they're farther away, they're even farther. When they're not above you, and you're seeing it with your naked eye, we're seeing light phenomena in the sky. If you ever get military grade night vision goggles, look up at the sky, you won't know what to think anymore. There's so much stuff going on up there that I don't know if it's natural, if it's I don't know what it is. I mean, it could be some tech up there, but I don't know. It looks like literally like neurons in a brain. It's crazy.
So what are these lights that we're seeing that we think are satellites?
Well, you can see the ISS, right? And now I had an ISS tracker.
Yeah, they sent email to track it.
The thing is, I was told, all right, the ISS is going to show up over here, and it's going to show up at this time, and it's going to go across the sky. And I watched it for 8 minutes. Well, let me think about that. It's traveling at 17,500 miles an hour. I saw it show up. It went right over my head, and I saw it for like 4 minutes more after it went over my head. 4 minutes more. So over my head, it's 250 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see it about the size that I would see an airplane, which 747, which is about the same size. So 747 at 1/25th of that distance looks the same size. Weird.
How is that possible?
And then I watch it for 4 more minutes. So it's traveling 17,500 miles an hour away from me, and I can still see it for 4 more minutes. It's over California, and I could still see it. It's impossible. If it was as big as Connecticut, I wouldn't be able to see it.
I mean, are we just being lied to about everything? Is there an international space station? I mean, I've seen...
There is. It's in a pool, though.
Right. I've seen so many of those videos with mistakes with gravity and, them with harnesses flying through.
Yeah. I have a million videos on that.
Yeah.
So on my app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, if you go to the frequently asked questions page and we go to the satellites up here, satellite section,
Okay.
let me pull that up. The first video is May and the Angels of Light from TikTok, and this guy Geocentric who lives in Aruba, somewhere out there. And walking along the beach, he found this little styrofoam computer chip attached to a piece of a balloon, and he knew what it was right away. It was it was a weather balloon that picks up all this data, and so he cleaned up the disk and everything, and he was able to reverse engineer and found which website it went to. It went to this satellite tracking website called GLONASS, which is run by Russia in the United States. Weird. And we can, in real time, we can look at these balloons. Now, they launch these balloons from 960 some odd locations every day, twice a day, all across the Earth. And that's how they map out all the jet streams and barometric pressure and everything. And it's all fed to a supercomputer. But if you go to this website, it's telling you that these are satellites in space when they're balloons. It's telling you they're satellites in space when they're literally just balloons, thousands of feet up, not miles and miles up.
Yeah, I believe that to be true too. I totally do. You think that's how they do all the GPS and stuff with these balloons?
The GPS is done with it's the ground positioning system. GPS works with ground-based systems. And maybe they're using some airplanes at this point, but I was asking, I was actually using ChatGPT, and I was talking about Starlink.
Yeah.
Right? People go, Starlink works. So let me just find my thing. Right. So we know that satellites are launched on balloons, that NASA launches these things all the time. So have you ever looked up and seen the Starlink satellites? They were a big thing a few years ago. You'd see this line of lights going through the sky.
Yeah, I've seen video, but not.
I saw it once. It looked just like this. Now, these are tiny little satellites, but we can see them. And many people have reported that when they see them coming, they hear a jet fighter in front of them, and then they hear one behind them. To me, I think that is this is just a deception. It's to stop some guy in a Cessna going, "Hey, what's that?" And they would intercept it and say, "Stand clear." Right? So I don't know what these are. Are they drones? Is it just a string of lights being pulled through the sky? I don't know. But it's a deception. And these were several years ago that when they started putting them up, people are reporting seeing these lights. And since then, Elon supposedly has put up thousands of more of these strings of lights. Thousands. So everybody should be seeing these all the time, but nobody's seeing them anymore.
I have never seen them.
They literally stopped with the deception once people are like, okay, yeah, all right, I believe it.
Yeah. And I look up at the sky every night, like every single night of my life. I look up at the sky. So
we're talking about the size a little while ago. Well,
yeah, look at that.
Here's a jet engine, right? This is a 747. It's 7 miles high. These Starlinks, you could probably fit 30 of them inside of this engine. You can't even see the guy that's standing there. You can barely see him. That's a man. So some people say the Starlink's about 3 sizes this time, like 3 men together. That would be one Starlink satellite. How the hell are you seeing that 200, 350, 400 miles away? How is that possible? 340 miles high. Those Starlink, those lights that we just saw going by, that's 340 miles away when it's directly above you? Absolute nonsense. So how does Starlink work, though? Well, Starlink is old technology. It's the same technology that they used in Vietnam. It's the same equipment, the same radio machine. They just put a new cover on it. They called it Starlink. Now, I was asking ChatGPT, I said, Starlink satellites in the sky. I said, wouldn't it be better if you put those Starlink satellite equipment on airplanes because they'd have a power source? They'd be able to be serviced on a regular basis. And it goes, yes, that would work really well. It would help for servicing them. You wouldn't have to worry about them. and there's airplanes everywhere. He goes, but the problem is when there's weather, airplanes are diverted around large weather systems. I said, well, what if we put it on military high flying planes that went over that weather and filled in those spots? And ChatGPT said that would be a more robust system than the actual system that they use in space. So again, you have to believe that we have these little tin cans that are somehow mirroring all of the spiraling, spinning, and whirling and twirling and different changes and motions of the Earth, and somehow just stay up there and make their perfect pass. I mean, the Earth is curving and whirling and twirling through space, and somehow those satellites are just mirroring all of those images. That it makes no sense. Well, gravity's holding on to it. Nonsense. Right. Absolute and total nonsense. Starlink is old technology. I think that it's mostly ground-based, but I think it's also in commercial airplanes. I had one guy, I forget where he was, on some remote island, and he just got Starlink service, in the last year or so. And he's a military guy, ex-military guy, and he tracks every airplane in the sky. He's all about it. And he said he noticed he loses his Starlink service quite often. When the last airplane in his area leaves, his Starlink goes down. And it's not until another one is in the area that it comes back up.
So you think they're using airplanes and not satellites?
Why wouldn't they? If they're not, they're being irresponsible financially. I mean, how do you what's powering those satellites? I mean, you got Starlink people. There's a lot of electricity involved. Where's it getting that electricity?
True, but why lie about that? Why not just be where's the gain in the lie?
The lie is to keep it's all about control. I mean, if you knew that you were at the center of creation, if you knew that governments were complete and total bullshit, if you knew that money was fake, if you knew that there was more resources, if you knew that there was more technology, if you knew about our past, if you knew who you were, if you knew how your mind worked, you would not be controllable. If you knew about sacred geometry, vortex mathematics.
True, that is 100% true.
So this is the most important lie of all. Most important lie of all.
What? The satellites or the flat Earth?
No, the entire flat Earth and history deception, the together. I'm pairing flat Earth and the history. On my app, if you go to the old world section, there is so much information, so much there. If any of you people that have not
put your ticker up,
looked into the old world, what's the ticker?
Your ticker, so folks know where to get you. Flat Earth Dave.
FlatEarthDave.com. Very, very easy. My lunch break. If you're not watching him, you're missing out. If you're new, watch Old World Order first. If you're new to it, if you want your mind blown, watch The Lost History of Flat Earth. There's all sorts of stuff, and then our history in a different view. I actually met the guy that made this when I was in Spain last week. Amazing. There's so much amazing stuff on here. It's as big as Flat Earth. When you understand what this place was.
Yeah. Could you show us a picture of what you think the Earth looks like flat? Like the most, something that replicates what's in your mind's eye.
There's an actual video from a balloon. You can't see forever. Here's the local sun right there. It's lighting up this part brighter than this part because it's close. The atmosphere becomes opaque over distance. It's not this colorful ball that NASA shows you with their cartoon images. This is the flat Earth. That's it.
Do you have a picture from a further out perspective?
Nobody gets higher than this. Nobody gets farther. This is as far as you can go.
How about an animation of one, or just so we could just imagine in our mind's eye what it looks like? Because there's a million images on the internet of this flat Earth with, the ice wall around it and a dome over it. I mean, is this
about this
pretty close to what?
How about that? So
that's what I'm saying.
You got the sun and the moon that circle around. Right. This is Antarctica.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
This is a level, non-rotating, enclosed. You got the dome. I think the dome is much lower than that. This is just a representation of how we see.
So space is outside of that, or is space?
I think there could be multiple layers of realities above us. I don't know. I don't know what's below us. Nobody does. Not even a globe believer. It's the deepest hole is 7.8 miles. The Earth does not spin. There's no, like, go outside and watch the sun move across the sky. The sun is moving across the sky. The moon moves across the sky. The stars move across the sky. People say, well, the stars go counterclockwise in the north and they go clockwise in the south. False. All of the stars, all of the luminaries rise in the east, set in the west.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you are in the world, whether you're in the south or in the north, when you look north, the stars are going counterclockwise. When you turn around, they're going clockwise, period. Right? If I'm looking north and the stars are coming from my left shoulder to my right shoulder, that's counterclockwise.
Right.
No, wait, that's clockwise. Is that clockwise?
Yeah, I think it's
that's
clockwise.
Oh, yeah. So the stars come, I'm a little dyslexic. So the stars come up and over and down. So they're coming from my right shoulder to my left shoulder, which is counterclockwise, right? If I turn around and I look south, they're coming from my left shoulder to my right shoulder. That's clockwise. Nothing changed except my orientation. Globers love using that they spin in different directions because most people can't spatially think out what I just showed you. It's that simple.
What about time-lapse photography? I've seen the Milky Way in time-lapse photography, and it does look like
it's moving. The stars are moving. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
They're moving. Let me just show you. Where is?
I mean, my mind is blown by a lot of this. Heidi wants to know what your thoughts are on solar flares and CMEs. Maybe that could be your next question.
I will in 1 second get to that. So here we have, if you live on a ball, everything as the farther out you look should be going down and away, lower and lower and lower, not to scale, of course, not to scale, right? You're always, from your point of view, you're on the top of the ball and everything should be going down and away. So you ask a glober, is this water going down and away or is it ramping up? They're going to say, oh, it's curving down and away. That's what they're going to say because that's what they're trained into believing. So if I put two boats out here, I have a boat out here and a canoe.
Mm-hmm.
Why is where this boat is touching the water higher than where this boat is touching the water?
Right. If it was going down and away,
if it's going down and away, why is it higher? Why is it higher? And so if we compare this to a hallway, the hallway is flat and it ramps up just like the boat does, just like the water does. It's the exact same perspective. So this one's curving down and away, and the other one's flat. I'll put the boats on the water again. I'll take the water away, and they're sitting on the floor. It works perfectly. And people say, well, where does the sun go? So let's lay a sunset over this. And the sun is just following the same line of perspective, and it goes beyond that opaque horizon out here. Here's another sunset. It's just going away and beyond. Beyond, not below. Beyond. And at one point, it becomes so opaque, it'll disappear from the bottom up. I'm just going back and forth here.
Yeah.
And then if I got street lights, they do the same thing. We know that these street lights aren't getting lower. This street light is the same height as the other street light.
Yeah.
Right? They're all, 25 feet up in the air, whatever it is. They follow the same lines of perspective. These street lights aren't touching the ground. They're just going beyond. And
what do the globalists say about that when you show them? Because I've seen you in a lot of debates with people, and they always have an answer for anything that you they I don't know if it makes.
I don't know.
Sense.
They have nothing other than to say that you can't compare that. You can't put the hallway isn't as long. It's a short hallway, and if it was longer, it would be curving, and it's not fair. And they make up. They do mental gymnastics, but So how about this? So when the sun sets, if we lived on a globe, the sun would go down below the globe and shine up.
Yes.
Like if you're on top of a mountain, you could have, here, you could have, let me show you this first. So on top of a mountain here, a couple miles up, whatever, however high it is, and the sun is setting, this stick can project a shadow. This is just, I just made this. This is what would happen, but it never happens. Shadows never become taller than the object itself. Here I got the sun going away and I got the sun going down, and watch the shadow. The sun going down, it gets higher.
Yeah.
The sun going away, it rises up and then it just fades out. We never witness this in real life. We always witness this.
How come when you're walking, though, when you look at your shadow, it looks very oblong, like it's thinner?
Well, your shadow will get longer and longer and longer. But if you were standing next to a wall on the top of the highest mountain and you're watching the sun go down, your shadow would never get taller than you, ever. On a globe, it would be required to get taller. And as the sun goes down, since you're way up on a mountain, the sun should shine on the ceiling of the house, but it'll never do that, ever. The sun will look like it's lower. It'll look like it's lower.
Yeah.
But it's not. Let me show you. So if I go sun under. Oops. So people say, "Oh, what about the sun? It's below the clouds." Well, here's the sun below the clouds, and it's not lighting the clouds. The tops of the clouds are lit, but it looks like it's lower. Here's the sun below the clouds, and if you look, the tops of these clouds are lit, not the bottoms.
And how are the clouds in front of it?
Well, this is just due to perspective, right? So here's the sun down. There's no sun, there's no light there, but you can see the sun is on top of the clouds.
Right.
Because it's just due to perspective. People have a hard time dealing with perspective. Here's
That's,
the sun.
I think, the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I do. It really is.
Here's the sun. It's going beyond. It's just becoming opaque here, and it's just going beyond it. But the very tops of these clouds are lit. The bottoms are not.
That?
Now, you'll
what
see.
Accounts for that?
Because the sun's higher. The sun's never below the clouds, right? Here's the sun down. The tops of the clouds are lit. Now, you'll see stuff like this. Where is it? Where they'll say, "Oh, look, the sun's lighting up the bottom of the clouds." No, it's not. These clouds are just thin. The thicker clouds aren't letting the sunlight through. The light's coming in from the top, not from the bottom. Right? Because the bottoms of this cloud would be lit, and it's not. The top is lit.
See, the biggest problem I have with the whole sun theory is that it does look like when it's setting that it's going around the curve. In my perspective, like I've seen that my whole life. So it seems that way to me. So you're saying it's not, it's like meeting the flat earth and just going sideways, right?
Here's the sun. It circles around. So out here, this yellow line is the Tropic of Capricorn. And the sun migrates out to the Tropic of Capricorn by December 21st. That's when Australia has their summer because the sun is close to them. When it's close, it's high in the sky. It's like being under a street light. And then the street light down the road is lower in the sky, but it's still the same height. It's just lower. It's farther away. So come December, we're going to be freezing our asses off here on the East Coast because the sun is far away. It's low in the sky. We don't see it until later. And also, because this circle is bigger than this circle, the sun is actually going faster, which is why twilight is much less. Twilight is much less because the sun is running away faster. But on a globe, this is hard for a lot of people, the globalists, to understand. In the summer, we have long twilight. Twilight is after the sun sets, the darkness, twilight.
Right.
We have long twilight. And that would mean that in December, the South should have long twilight and we should have short twilight. It should be reciprocal on a globe, but it's not. Everyone in the world in June has the longest twilight they have. Whatever it is, it's different for every area. And then from June to December, everyone's twilight gets shorter worldwide. That is impossible on a globe. It only works on a flat earth. And the reason the twilight is the speed that the sun is going. Out here, it's going 50, 70% faster than it is in here. That's why twilight is shorter worldwide for everybody.
I see.
So the sun migrates here. I'll show you. So right now we're in September, October, November, December. So in December, the sun is all the way out here, goes right over Australia. They have a nice hot summer. We're freezing our butts off. So December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So in June, it comes all the way in here.
Oh,
We have longer days. It's going slower.
Right.
And it comes up. So right now, it is it's about 6:30 for us, right? It's just getting dark right now. The shadows are just coming. It's morning for Australia. I could turn on the time zones. Let's see what time it is in Australia. It's 8 a.m. in Sydney right now. 8 a.m. The time zones move with the sun. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. It's very easy. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. Across from the sun is midnight.
So it's not only going around, but it's getting closer to the center, right?
It moves in until June and then out until December. 6 months in, 6 months out. The moon does the same thing, but every 2 weeks. 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out. 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out.
Let's talk about the moon for a second. The moon is obviously a globe. It's a sphere, right?
Well, not obviously. They call it a lunar disk. Right?
I mean, it has a dark side in it.
Does it? Does it even have another side? I haven't been there. Have you?
No, but I've heard the Chinese have landed.
You've heard the Chinese have landed. I also heard that I've heard that Godzilla is in China too.
So you don't think there's a dark side of the moon?
If the moon is a sphere, there might be a dark side, but the moon might be a light in itself. The moon, when there's a new moon, nobody ever sees the moon.
No, that is so puzzling to me. Why is that?
Because it's a new moon. I don't think it's there at all. I think that. Let me show you what I think happens during a solar eclipse. All right, everybody, hang in there.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, 8:20 in Sydney. Thanks, Mish. So what's under our flat Earth? Nobody knows what's under it, right? The deepest hole ever dug on a flat or globe is 7.8 miles. Nobody knows. So I'm going to go to eclipses for a second. So here's my theory, and again, I can't make claim to this, but for
we'll get back to that one. But go ahead.
Yeah. So let me. Where is my eclipse? So when we see a solar eclipse, this is what we say, and we're told it's the moon.
Yeah.
Right? Do you see the moon?
I see part of the moon.
No, you don't. You see a missing chunk of the sun. You see the moon?
What?
You see a missing piece of the sun.
Oh,
you don't see the moon. You don't see the moon.
Solar eclipse. I'm looking.
This is a solar eclipse. You don't see the moon.
Okay.
You see a missing. I call it missing sun. Missing sun. Right.
But I witnessed a solar eclipse.
You did.
With a telescope.
You didn't see the moon. You saw the sun disappear. You saw this.
No, I saw the moon move in front of the.
No, you didn't. You saw the sun disappear. You never saw the moon. You think it's the moon. I think I could see the moon there, but I don't really see it. It might be the moon, but you don't see the moon. That's my point.
Correct.
Okay.
What am I looking at then?
Here's my theory.
Yeah.
I believe that the eclipse is caused by either the moon or something else going behind the sun that we see. So here's an actual eclipse.
Okay.
That I filmed. I filmed this. It was a very chemi, so it actually helped with glare. And I'm watching the sun disappear, but I don't see the moon. It looks like sky. This looks like sky.
It does.
Here's my created eclipse. This is my rear projection paper towel eclipse. I have a source light behind the towel, a light shining through a tube, and then I eclipse it with a Snapple bottle cap. Now, do you see the Snapple bottle cap?
No, I do not.
You see the eclipse. But if you knew that it was a Snapple bottle cap eclipsing, you would say, oh, I see the cap. But you don't. You don't see it. You just see the paper towel sky. You just see the sky. So now let's watch this. Ready? Just hang in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's easier to believe that you see the moon go in front of the sun. Now, this is like a 90% eclipse. The sun is so bright, it's just blowing out the lens. This is a lens flare, but this is not moving around like a lens flare. It's locked to the sun, right? If I put on like solar glasses, I would see the eclipse be the same as these two, lens flare and whatever this is, and the eclipse is there. This is just bright. It's blowing out the lens. Understand that, right? So what is this? I think this is the source sun. And during the eclipse, the sky gets dark enough where we can see through the sky and we can see the source of this projection. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you. So
I think I know what you mean.
So no one has ever seen the sun approach. I don't see the moon. I mean, approach. There it is from you're getting a rear view. We don't see the moon. We just see missing sun. We don't see the moon here exiting the face of the sun. No one's ever seen the moon exit an eclipse.
Yeah.
But I said, wait, maybe the sky's more transparent. So I did it with tissue paper. Here's the sun that we see. There's the projection from behind.
So you're saying it's like a flashlight in the sky.
It's a light in the sky. I don't like this saying a flashlight, but if you look at, so this is, I'm looking through the sheet and I can see the tube and the thing behind the sky. Here's the eclipse. Here's the thing that's locked to it. And here's the real eclipse and here's the sun. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing.
What do they say to that when you show them the globers?
What do they say? They don't say anything. Yeah. I don't actually talk to globers anymore. They're like, oh, you think the sky's a paper towel? Oh, you think the sun's a spotlight? You know, oh, and they just change the story. They literally gish gallop to the next thing and throw insults. They're not really worth. There's certain people that are meant to wake up. There's other people, as I think it's Dolores Cannon, that says that their soul, they don't have souls, or they may have come from clones, you know, from the I was talking to Guy Anderson today. Non-player characters, yeah. Like if you look into the Cabbage Patch Kids, a lot of those babies may have been cloned or manufactured in some way, and you know, that's like those are like new souls versus an old soul. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
So a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth passes directly between the sun and the moon, and that casts a shadow on the moon's surface.
That's what they say, but you can't cast shadows for 250,000 miles. Shadows disperse over distances. So let's take a look at the lunar eclipse also. So the lunar eclipse, let me see if you can see this. So when you use a ball to cast a shadow on another ball, it does it. See how it leaves as an ellipse? It's not how it gets narrow. That's casting a shadow. It's narrow, then it spreads out, and then it leaves narrow. But that's not what we see in an eclipse. But we don't even need to go there because there's a thing called the Selenilian eclipse, right? We're told that the Earth is getting in between the sun and the moon and casting the shadow. But if you can see the sun on the right side and the moon on the left side above your horizon, this line represents his horizon, that means the Earth isn't in line yet. And so the problem is the eclipse starts before one of them sets, which makes no sense.
How is that possible?
And the shadow comes in from the top sometimes. Wait a minute. So this is what we see. This is what we should see.
What accounts for that?
Well, the scientists, they call it, because they probably can't pronounce selenilian, so they just call it the impossible eclipse, and they have nothing else to say about it. They call it the
What?
impossible eclipse. They can't explain it, but it just has to be what we're told it is. That's how stupid our scientists are. They're not
Yeah,
using science. They're
think
using pseudoscience and fairy
yeah,
tales.
yeah.
So someone's saying, "What, Mish? Why? So why do they eclipse?" Well, on a flat Earth, um, they can just pass near each other, whatever it is. There's no evidence that it's the moon that eclipses the sun.
Mm.
But this is not the scale, also, or timing. So the sun takes 6 months to go from here to here. The moon takes 2 weeks to go from here to make a half a turn, right? So there's a cycle that comes together. So again, the moon would be going in and out much faster, but every certain cycle, the sun and the moon will get near each other and they'll cancel each other out. And so here comes the eclipse right there. The wheels in the sky keep on turning. And there's your
Yeah.
eclipse. There's your eclipse for that small area of time, right? If the moon was really eclipsing the sun at the distances they say, everyone on Earth in the daylight would be able to see it at the same time. But it's also just a very narrow path, right? You can't take a shadow of something and make it smaller than the actual thing. Shadows only
Right.
get bigger, right? So the moon is it 2,000 miles wide? I forget. But the shadow of the eclipse is only 70 miles wide.
Yeah, that never made sense to me.
Yeah.
That never made sense to me.
Yeah.
The other thing that baffles me is gravity too. How do you explain gravity? If it's not a force pulling us towards the center of the globe, then what is it? I mean, in your estimation, does gravity exist on a flat plane?
Well, gravity is electrostatics. So gravity is just a theory. So here's here's the thing. This guy sent a drone up, and he's got a thin copper wire on it, and he's going to connect it. This one's connected to the ground. The other one's connected to the drone. Let me just go forward here. This is called a Franklin bell, and when the metal touches, it discharges, then it goes the other way. So it's using the electricity that's coming from the sky. So this is electrostatics. So imagine if I turn that sideways, and so it's attracted towards the negative side. Well, the Earth has a negative charge. The sky has a positive charge. Anything in the air is positively charged. So the attraction is down. It's a weak force.
Oh, I see. It is a weak force.
It is a weak force, but they say it's 10. The electrostatic force is 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity. 10 to the 36 is a number that doesn't even exist. It's so big, you can't fathom it. It doesn't exist in your mind. It can't, because it's so big. You know how long a trillion seconds is, right?
Well,
how long is a trillion seconds? Take a guess.
A trillion seconds.
How long is it? Yeah, guess it in days or weeks or years, whatever you want.
A year?
A year. Very close. 31,000 years. Okay. So 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. I'm just showing you how big a trillion is. A trillion is 12 zeros. 12 zeros.
Yeah.
So we times 31,000 years times 1,000. Now we're at 15. Times 1,000. Now we're at 18. We got to keep timesing it to 1,000 until we get the 36 zeros.
Yeah, that's unfathomable.
Right. And they're saying it's that much stronger than gravity. Well, there's been no test ever that has isolated gravity. None. Well, Cavendish, it didn't isolate electrostatics and have an independent variable. It's nonsense. Right. So here we have some helium balloons left over from a party, and we have this button. It's floating like 2 inches off the floor. This wire goes to a Van de Graaff generator. Now we're going to add a higher positive charge than it naturally has. And when we do, it gets attracted to the ground. Now, do we change gravity, or do we manipulate the electrostatic attraction? We discharge it, it goes up. right? This is easy stuff. We have a negative charge in this. It repels itself from the earth. Turn it off, it goes down. Turn it on, keep it on, it goes up. Right? So this is the silent drone at MIT. It has no moving parts, and they're just using electrostatics for lift. The XRT-3B triangle aircraft, if you look up the information on that, it lifts itself and propels itself with electrostatics. And I think it's pulling the electricity out of the air, so it doesn't even need to recharge.
That's quite possible. I mean, it kind of relates to the whole free energy thing.
Yeah. So the electrostatic charge is what is, it's testable, provable, repeatable.
Yeah.
Right? And then buoyancy and density sort everything else out. Buoyancy and density sort everything out. If something's lighter than the medium around it, it will rise up. And then people say, well, you know, it's holding the air down. Well, how come clouds are going this way and that way at different levels, right? Clouds are water. Water is more dense than the air. With gravity, how do they float in the sky? It's electrostatics that hold them up.
Mm-hmm. And what about wind current? I mean,
well, there's wind. It's high pressure, different pressure differentials. We have high pressure and low pressure due to temperature.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mish said, how do other planets, and I thought about that too, how do they fit into the flat Earth theory?
So planets used to be called wandering stars, and they changed them to planets. But in reality, we're told that all of the planets orbit the sun, right? All the planets orbit the sun. That's what they tell us.
Yep.
All right. So not the scale. We got the sun at the center, got all the planets going, excuse me, going around. And so not the scale. We got the Earth here. And if this is the axis of rotation, Polaris would be somewhere up here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's pretend there's people on all these planets. We have 100 billion stars in our solar system, in our galaxy. Polaris would mean nothing significant to these other planets because there's no significance, right? They have their own. So if the Earth was tilted over here, whatever's up there, that would be Polaris, right? All these planets, their North Star would be there, their North Star would be there, their North Star would be there, right? So Polaris is not important to the other planets. I made that clear?
Yes, very.
Okay. So why is it that all the planets, all the luminaries, all the asteroids all circle Polaris? Mars, Venus, Mercury, Juno asteroid, Neptune, Uranus, they all circle Polaris in their perfect spirographs. Why is it that all the eclipses repeat their patterns every 18 years in this heliocentric, gravitationally held? You know what the three-body problem is, right?
The three-body problem?
Three-body problem. The three-body problem is with gravity, where they cannot model more than three bodies at a time. The three-body problem is you take the world's best supercomputer and you say, okay, I've got a planet and a sun, and it could figure out what it's going to do forever. But you put three bodies. Now, this is three of the same size bodies, and it still goes into chaos mode. It doesn't know what it's going to do next. That's just three. That's called the three-body problem. And there's only a couple of simulations that they found patterns that they'll make. But we have hundreds of bodies in our solar system alone that all interact with each other. We have planetary alignments. They should all be tugging on each other. The sun should pull on our moon and change its path. Everything should just go into chaos like this.
Yeah.
But the sky is a perfect clock.
It is. It's orderly too. And it.
Yeah.
So James Webb and the Hubble telescope, that's all BS. There's no James Webb. There's no, I just can't wrap my brain around that. That's
You want to talk about the James Webb? The James Webb is just so much nonsense.
is it?
Right?
Oh, don't tell me that.
Did you see this?
Good Lord.
This is that a star or a galaxy? What do you think?
Well, it
That's
kind of
actually
looks like a star.
it's actually my finger. Okay.
Jesus.
It's my finger. So here is James Webb versus Flat Earth Dave. Who made this? James Webb or Flat Earth Dave?
Oh, I know you're good at these. So I don't know. I'm going
Who
to say
made this?
that's Flat
James?
Earth Dave.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've forgotten which one I made and which
Are
one
you
is them.
serious?
I don't even know anymore. I really don't. I think I made one of these. I think I made this one.
You're so good at that.
It's so good. Anybody could do it. It's so you can do it for free. All of these images are on Google. Just pull them down and drop them in a black background, and it's crazy.
So why lie about? Is it just again the answer that you gave before because they don't want us to know X, Y, and Z that they're lying about James Webb?
It's
Like,
all about
why
hiding.
lie about it?
Yeah. So this is two of these images are fake. They're all fake because they're all from James Webb. But I made two of them. Those two.
I'd say the bottom right.
I'm going to change them right now. This one and this one. So now I'll swap them out. All right.
Oh,
I'm just saying. It's just showing you that.
Oh no.
They're all fake because
God.
No. I made these two. The rest are made by James Webb. They're all just nonsense. All right. Let's look at the launch of James Webb. Let me just say, where is it?
What about the big hullabaloo when the Hubble had the wrong mirror and they had to go and swap the mirror? They sent the astronauts up to swap the lens to put the correct lens. That's all fake.
All just drama. It's all just drama.
Oh my mind hurts.
Yeah. So this is what they showed us when they launched the James Webb.
Right.
So now we got the Earth right here. You got the Earth curvature, and they launched it. This is what they showed us.
That looks so freaking fake.
It is so freaking fake. But so now they might say that this is animation, but then they showed this. Okay, so now they're launching it. Now look, we're losing signal, and it's right here above Earth. We're just orbiting Earth. This thing has to go 1 million miles away and park itself in a Lagrange point. A Lagrange point is where the gravity of the sun and the gravity of the Earth are neutral, and it won't pull it either way, which is just hypothetical nonsense. But we're losing signal when we're right next to Earth. We got to go 1 million miles and park. So now it's gonna deploy the telescope now. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. Fast forward. Let's see. So it's deploying it right now. I'm gonna make it go a little bigger, a little faster. So it's deploy. Here's the question: how's it gonna go 1 million miles now and park itself? What's gonna get it there? This is what they show us, and people are like, oh my God, it's so cool. And they got people, their masks clapping, right? Absolute and total nonsense.
This guy that works there, I'm assuming that's NASA.
No, that's that's NASA. Now he may or may not. He maybe not, because we had one of the guys that was involved in the moon landing, the Apollo launches. He said they did so many simulations that when the real thing happened, they couldn't tell the difference between the simulation and the actual thing. That's what he said in an interview. So they're all fooled. Now there's probably some people in there that are shills, and other people that are just leading them along. Just last year, they said, now here's where your brain's going to melt again. They said the Hubble found a galaxy 13.4 billion light years away with inhabitable planets. They think that these planets are inhabitable, so they can see planets. Cool. So we say, point the Hubble at the moon and show us the moon landing equipment.
Yeah, I ask that question all the time. All
Well,
the time. Show
now,
me the flag that you planted there too.
so 13.4 billion light years. So let's
That's
just take
ridiculous.
1 light year. 1 light year is 5.8 trillion miles. 5.8 trillion
Mhm,
miles. The moon is 237,000 miles.
mhm.
So 1 light year is 24.8 million times farther than the moon. We want them to show us what's on the moon. But if we had to look at something 1 light year away, it would be 24.8 million times farther. But guess
Yeah,
what? The planets that they are claiming are there are not 24.8 million times farther than the moon. They're 24.8 million times 13.4 billion.
that's unfathomable. I can't even. That's crazy.
24.8 million times farther, times not 10, not 50, not 13 million, 13.4 billion times. And they can see shit out there, and people just want
Yeah,
to believe that. I'm
yeah,
sorry. If you believe that, I can't help you.
yeah. Yeah, now to me that's like, I know, believe me, and that's why I was so
Right.
excited to have you on because I
Right.
know we're being lied to on a grandiose scale.
Let me
You
let
know,
me
the,
let me address Mish in the content. It's saying
yeah.
I've looked at Jupiter and its
Oh, it's
moons
Jupiter.
and Saturn. No, that I think Mish is probably pretty young or something. I've looked up too, and I've seen the light in the sky. Have you ever looked up and seen Jupiter in the sky?
I've seen Saturn through a
Yeah,
college telescope.
right, right,
I've
right.
seen the
And
rings.
yeah. So let me just pull up planets.
I know stars aren't what they
Yeah.
appear to
So
be. I've
this is
seen.
what NASA shows us, and this is what we see. When you looked at Saturn, you saw that.
I did.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I
that's a
saw.
light. That's a light in the sky. That's a light. I don't know what it is, but they're named after gods. Right? This is what we see with our optics. This is what NASA cartoons that they show us. So
Yeah.
so when you look up at Jupiter with your naked eye on a clear night, it is bright as the sun. It's just like a big star. It's super bright.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
why do we see Saturn? Why do we see planets? Because the sunlight is bouncing off of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Saturn and the inverse square law says every time you double the distance to a light, it's half of the brightness or quarter of the brightness. It's just it gets exponentially dimmer and dimmer over distance. Light spreads out and just gets dimmer and dimmer. So a gassy planet, Jupiter, is it reflective or does it absorb light? Not reflective, it absorbs light.
Right.
Right? So it's not very reflective. And our sun is like the size of a coin held at arm's length. If we
Right.
doubled the distance to our sun, so it's round up 200 million miles, it would be the size of a pencil eraser. It would be a quarter of the size. If we doubled it again, 400 million miles, it would be pretty damn small. It would be like a large star. So if you were on Jupiter, the sun is 400 million miles away, the sun would be tiny. You believe that that little tiny light is going to reflect off of the non-reflective Jupiter. It's going to reflect back 400 million, 300, 400 million miles to Earth, and you're going to see it as bright as we see it. That's impossible. You wouldn't
Well,
see
they tell
anything.
us that the light we're seeing, the lights in the stars that we're seeing are billions of years old.
Well,
They're not.
that's not what we're talking about with a planet because that's just thousands of miles away. But
Right.
the light that they tell us, that cool story. I like to say cool story, bro. But we could not see planets. I mean, we couldn't see any of that stuff. Let's talk about scaling and variance. They tell us the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, but it's also 400 times farther than the moon. Therefore, they look
Mhm.
like they're the same size. So they admit scaling and
Mhm.
variant, the distance, like if something is twice the size and twice the distance, it looks like it's the same size, right?
Yep.
If I had a basketball that was twice the size of another basketball and I put it twice the distance away, they would look like they're the same size. Just how it
Right.
works. Okay. So they tell us, you know, our sun is 860,000 miles wide. So if the sun was a mile over your head, it would fill the entire sky. You agree with that? It'd be like you're standing on a BB and there's a yoga ball a half a millimeter above the BB. You would just see, that's all you would see. We move it 93 million miles away. It's now the size of a coin at arm's length. It reduced in size that much. If I doubled it again, so now it's twice the distance, it would be a pencil eraser. Doubled it, it'd be the size of a star. Doubled it again, so it's 8 times as far. It would be arguably visible. It would be like a tiny star. Agreed?
Absolutely. So what are we seeing?
So hold on. So 8 times the distance of the sun. If the sun is 8 light minutes away, that's what they tell us the distance is. 8 times 8 is 64. We'll call it a light hour. At a light hour, it would be very hard to see the sun. But let's give the globe the benefit of the doubt. Let's make it 2 light hours. No, let's make it 24 times farther. So 24 light hours away. You can prove that the angular size of the sun and the brightness would be far below our ability to see. So at a light day away, we could not see our sun. Agreed?
Agreed.
Look it up.
Yeah.
So they tell us Polaris is 46 times bigger than our sun. Cool. So we'll make it 46 light days away. It would be the same size as we see the sun, which is unseeable. So at 46 light days away, let's round it up. 2 light months away. Always give the globe the benefit of the doubt. 2 light months away, you could not see Polaris. It would be, forget the brightness issue. It would be so dim, you wouldn't be able to see it. But let's assume that it doesn't get dimmer, which is just stupid. You could not see Polaris at 2 light months away.
Yeah.
They tell us it's 430 light years away. Your brain just melted. You can't.
It did.
You can't handle that.
These things, no. I'm assuming you're going to say these things are a lot closer to us than
they're all at the same focal length. The sun, the moon, and the planets are all at the same focal length on a camera. You can zoom past the moon, in front of the moon, and on the moon. You bring the moon into focus, then swing your camera over to a planet. It's in focus.
Yeah.
So
it makes so much sense when you explain it that way.
So, well, it does, and then the Globers will freak out and everything.
Yeah.
So Mish is saying they're roundish looking. Well, the lights in my ceiling have nothing to do with the shape of my floor. I think the moon is I don't know if it's a sphere, but it definitely looks round. But if I said to you, is this the sun or the moon rising or setting? Could you answer it?
Absolutely not.
Can I say, how about if I said if it's the sun or the moon? Could you answer that?
Well, I'm assuming it's the moon because the sky looks dark.
Yeah. Well,
like the day.
That's a good observation. But I gave you what's called a false binary, just like, TFE. And it's actually a train, and it's not even a sphere. Okay. Look at those lights. You got blue lights, red lights, straight lights, square lights. And it looks like a sphere in the distance.
It does. It totally does.
Right. And so when we look at stuff like stars through our consumer optics have outgrown their lies. So let me just show you what a star looks like.
That's a good one. That's a good one right there.
This is a star.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, you can do this yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And when you think you saw Jupiter and its moons, you saw a light, which is impossible to be Jupiter, and you see little lights next to it. I don't know what they are, and neither do you. And Arcturus, this is Arcturus, you can see with your naked eye. They say that in Ezekiel that the stars are angels, and they can be seen as a wheel inside a wheel.
Yeah, that's the Ezekiel thing with the eye in the center.
Yeah. I'm seeing a kind of wheel inside a wheel there.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And it looks like orbs too, like many an orb that you would see. Dave, how many years have you been researching all this exactly?
I got dragged into flat Earth in 2014.
I can tell. I mean, what we have like maybe 2 minutes left, but I would love for you to come back because I have 3 pages of questions that I didn't get to.
We
Do
can
you think?
schedule another one down the road a little bit.
Yeah, I would love that. What do you? So you have an app. You have like what are the things you're offering folks to help them understand?
Here's the thing. If you want to Google flat Earth and stuff, leave me alone. Don't bother me because you're just going to get fed nonsense, and they're going to call me all sorts of names. But if you want to use your God-given common sense and verify all this stuff yourself, don't believe anything I say. Verify everything yourself. Go out, measure the Earth. We've done it. We've done experiments all over the place. On my app, if you go to the more resources page, which is the web, the button that looks like a spider web, you scroll down to experiments right here. They're all documented for you. We've done them for you. We've documented them for you, but we'll show you how to do them and you can go do them yourself. There's all sorts of stuff. The frequently asked questions page answers all your questions. Why would they lie? What about eclipses? What about Eratosthenes? How do seasons work? All of them have been answered. All of this information is being hidden from you by Google. This is the more resources page. All sorts of books, biblical, novel, old world, amazing stuff. We have. I'm going to be speaking at a couple conferences. I might as well mention them. The International Truth Expo, which is the internationaltruthexpo.com, which is in November in Quartzsite, Arizona. And let me how do I get out of that one? Oops, I want to go back here. Where'd it go? And then before that, I'm going to be at truthercon.com, truthercon.com. That's in October 25th and 26th in Texas. Come down. It's going to be an amazing conference. And then after that, I keep hitting the wrong button to do that. It's funny. I'm going to be in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Oh, nice.
At Acapulco. That's a really fun one. That's like a 5-day conference. So if you're looking for a vacation, that's the place to go.
I always wanted to go to that Acapulco. It looks like so much fun.
Yep. I have the homeschool section with all longer format, amazing stuff. Featured content creators on here. I have a biblical section, mind-blowing, whether you believe in the Bible or not. It's mind-blowing for either group. This is the old world page, one of my favorites. This will keep you busy forever.
Awesome.
You can search videos without getting nonsense here. I have trivia game, a memory game is in the works, different languages. But the greatest thing, one of the greatest things on here is the friend finder. And this shows you where other flat earthers are around the world, and you can contact them. So if we look at the United States here, we're filling up. These are people that actually have my app and are using it now. These are people that are on the friend finder, and it's worldwide.
Yeah, I see that.
This is the UK. Wow. And then, when you're a flat earther, you can tap on anyone. You can look at their profile. You can message them. You can do video calls on here. I have the matchmaker, which you say, all right, I'm a male. I have myself as 1 year old, so I don't show up in anybody's search. I'm looking for a female, age range. I say search. And I got 117.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
And then you could scroll. I actually have it set at I was doing this in Spain, and there's not a lot of people there. So let me set the miles to, let's just go 150 miles. 150 miles, so I get a smaller group. Here, there's 24, and I can scroll from person to person, and
make a match.
Yeah, make a match. You can say hello. You can
That's
you
awesome.
do all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And it's not just for dating, it's for finding actual friends, it's for both.
Yeah. Real quick, in 10 seconds, did you ever get did anybody from the government, I'm trying to word it, did anyone from any government agency ever contact you and ask you to stop this?
No, it's not. It doesn't. That world doesn't work that way. They only put you in fear, and if you're in fear, all sorts of bad stuff can happen. I have zero fear. The creators got my back. I'm spreading the message, and I would feel like shit if I didn't spread this message. People say, "Oh, you're a grifter." Yeah, my app is $3 lifetime. You get it for lifetime. Now, if you wanna use the matchmaker, if you want to use the search features, if you want to create meetups, if you want to send outgoing messages, you have to subscribe. It's $11 a year, and I also make it so you can get it for free. If you go into the friend finder and you click the middle button here, you'll have a random number here. Click the pencil, change it to something that's easy to remember, 1 to 7 characters. And then anytime you tell someone about the app, if you're showing them something, give them your referral code. If you get 11 points, you can trade it in for a year subscription.
That's wonderful. We're going to get bumped off. We're going to get bumped off because it's 7. There's another show.
FlatEarthDave.com. FlatEarthDave.com is where you find all my stuff, all my social media.
Definitely. Thank you, Dave. We will be in touch for another show.
All right. See you. Thanks. Bye.
Take care, guys. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Bye-bye.